Well, good morning folks, and welcome back to the channel. This is Lee, your virtual airline pilot, back with you again for another scenery review. Today we are in North America, on the northwest coast in the state of Washington, and this is Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, Kilo Sierra Echo Alpha. This is a Payware scenery collaboration between Beautiful Model of the World and Amsim. They've got together to produce a new updated version of Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. Currently this is version 1.2 for the PC version of Flight Simulator 2020. The download is 818 meg and it installs at just over 2 gigabytes. Currently it's only available from Orbix. The price comes out at €21.79, which equates to $23.02 US, or £18.77 UK. All of those prices are estimates and they do not include VAT and tax, which of course may vary depending on your country of purchase. So the features, let's go through the list of features for you. Animated jetways, and you'll see the jetway test shortly. Custom ground markings, high resolution custom ground textures, dirt and other details. Surrounding buildings fully modelled, night lighting, parallax windows, airline codes assigned to each gate. So that's pretty impressive. So once again, we've got an airport that lies in a beautiful part of the world. You've got the city of Seattle up to the north there in the left hand corner. I have had a look at the default, and we'll have a look at it in a moment. Bear in mind that Seattle was upgraded or updated by ASOBO during the recent USA update, and so the airport supposedly is a lot better than the basic airport that existed when Flight Simulator 2020 came out. So to begin with, what we'll do, we'll have a look at that default update. Starting now, we'll have a look at we'll have a run across the tarmac and have a look at what ASOBO did to update the default Seattle before we look at this one. Okay, so here we are doing a pass over Seattle, the airside ramp, and having a slow look at some of the terminal structures, jetways. I mean, it all looks a bit white actually. I'm not sure if this is how it looks at the real airport. I'll need to do some picture research, I guess. But as you can see, nicely modelled, lots of clutter. Buildings are quite detailed. As far as the default is concerned, you have everything here that you need as a pilot landing at this airport. Lots of clutter, buildings are nicely modelled actually, the tower is accurate too. It all looks quite nice. Here you come over towards the cargo area. All looks pretty good. Yep, I mean there's everything you need here. As a pilot flying into Seattle, it's a very nice airport. It's a huge improvement over some of the earlier simulations. Here we're just passing over landside. Look at the buildings, there's the cargo area with some cargo trucks. The modelling is quite nice. Trees stuck to the building there on the right hand side, which is a pity. And we've got some photo ground cars there on the left. But the roads are reasonable, and you can see the buildings and the detail on the buildings perfectly acceptable. Here we come to the multi-story car park. Got some buses down there to the left and some cars on the top, and a few buildings down there to the left on landside. Look like they've been modelled a bit more. Perfectly acceptable. Nothing wrong with this at all, really. There's the fuel farm. Not sure they should be sunk into the ground like that. So down there to the left is the VOR station. And these are the 3 runways now. They have 3 main runways here. Complete with windsocks. It all looks pretty good. No real complaints. Signage is good. But as you can see, the airport looks perfectly acceptable from a pilot's point of view. And you're downtown Seattle to the north there. Okay, so there you are. You've had a quick tour of AIRSIDE and the default buildings here on the default ASOBO. Seattle was updated or upgraded, if you like, or improved, supposedly during the last USA update, and this is what you have. So there you go. That was a quick look at the default ASOBO airport, and you can already see part of the difference from just by looking at this high-level shot. As ever, let's start with some history. Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, Kilo Sierra Echo Alpha, also referred to as SEATAC, is a public use and primary commercial airport serving the city of Seattle and the downtown Seattle metropolitan area in the state of Washington on the northwest coast of the USA. It is located approximately 14 miles or 23 kilometers south of downtown Seattle and 18 miles or 29 kilometers north of Tacoma. The airport, which is the busiest in the Pacific Northwest region of North America, is situated between Portland in Oregon and Vancouver, British Columbia, and is owned by the Port of Seattle. The entire airport covers an area of 3.9 square miles or 2,500 acres, much smaller than the other US airports with similar annual passenger numbers. The airport has flights to cities throughout North America, Oceania, Europe, Middle East and Asia. It's the primary hub for Alaska Airlines, whose headquarters are near the airport. It's also a hub and international gateway for Delta Airlines, which has expanded at the airport since 2011. As of 2022, 31 airlines operate at the airport, serving 91 domestic and 28 international destinations. The airport was built by the Port of Seattle in 1944 after the US military took control of Boeing Field in World War II. The port received $1 million from the Civil Aeronautics Administration to build the airport and $100,000 from the city of Tacoma. The first scheduled airline flights were Northwest and TransCanada in 1947. Western and United subsequently moved from Boeing Field, and Pan Am followed in 1952. West Coast, Air West and Hughes Air West stayed at Boeing Field until 1971. The original terminal was designed by architect Herman A. Moldenhauer. After the death of US Senator Henry Martin Jackson in 1983, Seattle Port Commission voted to change the airport's name to Henry M. Jackson International Airport. Citizens of Tacoma interpreted the change as an insult to their community, the second time in the airport's history that port authorities had attempted to remove the Tacoma from the name. The $100,000 that Tacoma had provided for the airport's construction during World War II had come with an explicit promise that the city would be included in the airport's name. An additional complicating factor was the existence of another Jackson International Airport, now Jackson Madga Wiley Evers International Airport in Jackson, Mississippi, whose management threatened legal action to preserve its exclusive use of the name. The controversy was resolved after polls of Seattle and Tacoma area residents showed their preference for the original name by margins as much as 5-1. Helen Jackson, the widow of the late Senator Henry M. Jackson, expressed her desire that their family remain neutral in the debate. With a 3-2 vote of the Port of Seattle Commission, the name reverted to Seattle-Tacoma International Airport in early 1984. In the late 1980s, the Port of Seattle and a council representing local county governments considered the future of air traffic in the region and predicted that the airport could reach capacity by the year 2000. In 1992, the Planning Committee concluded that the best solution was to add a third runway to the airport and construct a supplemental 2-runway airport in one of the neighbouring counties. Members of the community opposed the third runway, as did the Highline School District and the cities of Des Moines, Burien, Federal Way, Tukwila and Normandy Park. But in 1994, a study concluded that there were no feasible sites for an additional airport runway. So the Port of Seattle approved the plan for the new runway in 1996, prompting a lawsuit from opponents. However, the port secured the necessary permits by agreeing to noise reduction programs and environmental protections. Runway opponents appealed these permits but dropped their challenges in 2004. Seattle Airport has 103 gates in 4 concourses and 2 satellite buildings. The 2 satellite terminal buildings, named the North and South Satellites, are connected to 4 concourses in the main terminal by a 3-line automated people mover system called the SEA Underground. The underground transit system moves passengers quickly within the 4 concourses of the central terminal and out to the 2 satellite terminals. All non-pre-cleared international arrivals are currently handled at the South Satellite Terminal regardless of their departure. A new control tower was built beginning in 2001 and it opened in November 2004 at a cost of $26 million. In 2007, the airport became the first to implement an AVIAN radar system providing 24-hour monitoring of wildlife activity across the airfield. So there you go, that's history for you. There's been quite a bit of it, and as you can see it's gone through the mill a little bit, this airport. So let's start by having a look at the runways. Got quite a bit to look at here too. So runways, let's look at Seattle's runways. As you can see, I've turned the lighting down to get a better view. So Seattle-Tacoma Airport operates 3 main runways. Runway 34 right 16 left is the longest, measuring 11,901 feet or 3,627 meters, and is the most easterly of the 3 runways, close to the terminal complex. And we're looking down the throat of runway 34 right now. Next comes runway 34 center 16 center, measuring 9,426 feet or 2,873 meters. And we're looking at that now. Runway 34 center. Finally, the shortest and westernmost runway 34 left 16 right or 6 right measures 8,500 feet or 2,591 meters. All 3 runways are made from concrete. So runway 34 right, 34 center and all from 34 left all feature a standard instrument landing system, medium intensity approach lighting system with runway alignment indicator lights and precision approach path indicators on the runway left sides. So here we're looking at runway 34 right to the right hand side there and right down the throat of 34 center, and you can see the precision approach path indicators on the left side of each and the approach lighting as well. So there are also RNAV approach options available to all of these runways. Runway 16 left, 16 center and 16 right all feature standard instrument landing system, high intensity approach lighting system with sequence flashing lights and precision approach path indicators again on the runway left side. So here we are at the other end looking down runway 16 center right in the middle here, and you've got run 6 left and right here. As you can see, the flashing lights are missing. But anyway, it's not a problem. You've got plenty of approach lighting and plenty of lighting on the runway here for you to make your landing in pretty much any conditions. Again, we have RNAV approach options also available on these runways. And the airport has issued an alert notice when transitioning from instrument to visual approach to runway 16 center. Got to make sure you are correctly aligned with the runway and not taxiway Tango, which is west and parallel to the runway. So here, taxiway Tango is the one you got to make sure you're not lined up with, especially during the day and when the sun's in a certain position. So that about does it for runways. Let's get down close up to the airport, do the jetway test, and then look at the airport in detail. Okay, so here we are on stand Bravo 5 in the new Payware Seattle. Let's do the usual jetway test and see how that works. As you can see, the jetways are actually much better modelled than the default, which is nice. Weathering is good, and you've got all the bits and pieces attached to the jetway. That looks pretty good. It's gone through the skin, but it looks pretty good. So there's the jetway, really nicely modelled. And as you can see, it has gone through the skin, but it's not too bad, considering it's not too bad at all. And there's seen from the other side. And a quick look from inside, and there you can see it actually has gone through the skin, but it's not too bad at all. Okay, so let's remove the jetway. That's really nice. That's quite a nice animation there. And back into position. So that does it for jetways. So as with the default ASOBO, let's do a quick tour of AIRSIDE and look at the detail and the changes. As you can see straight away, there's quite a bit of detail here. The hangars are properly modelled now with markings. You've also got the bridge detail and quite a lot of detail here as well. I mean, it actually looks so much better than the default, even though Microsoft did indeed update it. Even the glass looks better. Ground markings are good. Going in over here, the control tower looks slightly better too. I mean, it all looks really nice, and here you've got the cargo apron, which looks so much better, to be honest. Nice view of Mount Rainier there in the background, shrouded in the mist. So let's go towards the landside part of the airport and have a quick tour. Lots of light stanchions. You've got this elevated trainway, I think it's a trainway, that's been nicely modelled too. Roads are pretty much default, but the foliage is missing from that building on the right, which is a good thing. But as you can see, lots more detail, actually a lot of colour as well, to be honest. It looks really nice. Okay, some scenery popping there. But there's quite a bit of detail. They've gone through quite some length to make this look as good as it should be. And you can see some of the nearby buildings to the left there are modelled as well. There's the Delta building. Air Alaska Air there too, and here's the fuel farm. So that looks pretty good. That doesn't look too bad at all. So let's have a look at taxiways. Okay, blue airfield edge lights you can see there. Taxiways are nicely marked. All looks pretty good. There's the Air Alaska hangar to the right, which looks quite impressive. Centre line looks good as well, and it looks as though we've got the centre line lighting buried in there as well. We'll have a look at that in the darkness hour. So runway entry signs there, which looks good, and the taxiway marker signs there to the right, which give you an idea what the taxiways are. Runway itself looks nicely weathered, and it does look like concrete as opposed to asphalt. There's the VOR station. Let's just pop across here, have a look at this area. You see the PAPI lights below us there. Very nice. Lots of scenery popping. And here you've got the roadway that goes through a tunnel. Just going to cop down here. I don't think the tunnel's modelled. No, it's not. It's an illusion, but it's a nice little illusion. At least you can see what it's supposed to be. So just crossing over the approach to 34 left, and here you can see a little work on some of the outbuildings. But you know that was 34 centre we crossed over. There's 34 left directly ahead of us. Very nice here, very pleasant, nothing special but nicely modelled and adds to the appeal of the airport. Very nice fire truck there. Trying to see if those are stands. No, they're not. Okay, just wondering what that was. So there's runway 34 left. Again, you can see the concrete and the tyre marks on the runway, which is good. All the signage looks good as well, I'm pleased to say. So heading back to the central area here, crossing the runways. Yeah, plenty of signage. Can't see any problems with signage at all. So everything looking good. Let's get close up to this main central part here and have a look at what's been done inside, if anything. So as you can see from the outside, this building's been really nicely modelled. It's looking a lot better than the default upgraded one by ASOBO. The glass looks really quite impressive. Let's pop inside from airside here. So there's a nice view of the little restaurant, sort of airside there. You've got departures board up at the top left. And there, if we go up a bit close, you can see it's an illusion, but it's been modelled in high definition, so it looks real. And that's the real key to these sorts of things. If the photograph, which indeed what this is modelled in high enough resolution, then it works. It looks good. Just a very quick look at some of the models. I mean, they look nice. They look very, very nicely done. The detail is really good. And again, we get up close to the departures board and it's eminently readable. It's very clear and crisp, just as it should be. Very, very good. And just a quick look in the other direction there, you can see out through the glass and you get the right kind of view because the glass is misted, and that effect is really good. Very pleased with that. And a tower building here. It doesn't look as though it's modelled inside, but again, it's beautifully done from the outside. Yeah, there you go. It's modelled inside as such, but it's not fully developed because you've got the main control tower elsewhere. So coming out to landside here, we're looking at the multi-storey car park. Lots of advertising, vehicles on the rooftops. And here you can see vehicles on the lower subterranean levels, as it were. And here we have them on the roof. And they're not too bad. They blur a bit close up, but they're not bad. And they're looking across the roof in the other direction. And just looking at the entrance to the terminal from landside, you can see modelling's okay, but it's not been really sort of developed as such. But you've got the roadway, you've got the doors, all looks fine. So here's a little bit of internal development here in the landside part of the southern part of the building. As you can see, you've got the aircraft, the little aircraft hanging from the roof there. The escalators, more the mobile walkways are all there. No people though. So this it's nicely developed and it's fine, but devoid of people kind of kills the atmosphere a little bit really. Here's the same place, different view angle, top of the escalators there. And another quick shot. And here's the same part of the building shot from airside. As you can see, nice weathering on the building, windows look good, and if you can see there, you can see evidence of parallaxing on the windows, which will look better at night, and we'll look at that shortly. So here we are looking landside of the main terminal building there. That is indeed a station there, and you've got evidence here of hotels that have been worked on. Let's have a look at the station here and let's see if there's any animation. Can't see anything, but let's just see what is modelled. So we're just travelling slowly up the railway here towards the station. See if we can get inside. Indeed we can. So the station is modelled, but there's no train animation. But there are bits and pieces. There's the DENNYS down there to the right. But much of this looks like the default ASOBO stuff, and it looks pretty horrible when you get up close. So coming up towards the control tower, let's see if what modelling, if any, is either inside or on the tower. As you can see, it looks good from the outside. I suspect there's parallaxing in here. And here we are inside the top of the tower. No internal modelling, but there you go. So a quick look at some of these other areas. There you've got some UPS trucks and some baggage bins. Nicely modelled buildings, I have to say. Again, coming up to the cargo area in the northern part of the airport. All looks very good. It's very nicely modelled. No complaints at all, really. So a quick look at this cargo area. There's the fence line. There's a lot of scenery popping going on, which is a little bit distracting. But then it's not really an issue as far as the pilots are concerned. But the detail's nice. The ground details are excellent. It's very, very well done. As you can see, coming across the runways, the grass areas look good. You've got your windsocks. And everything looks really quite impressive. It's a huge upgrade on the default ASOBO upgrade. So yes, very nice indeed. Okay, so let's turn the light down to dusk and let's have a look. Okay, 4:20 in the afternoon, and as you can see, it's December 2022, if anybody looking at this video later on is wondering. So yes, the sun goes down pretty quickly, and as you can see, the light has started to come on, and that looks quite nice. Mount Rainier, nicely illuminated by the sunset in the distance there. There's the sun just disappearing in the west. That's Puget Sound as far as I remember. Actually nice to see the sun dipping. And they're looking towards the cargo part of the airport. Lighting looks lovely, very nice. And finally Seattle, the city in the distance there. So let's get down to the terminal ramp area up close and have a look at what it's like down there for you as a pilot when you come in and land and taxi in. So here we are on stand Bravo 5, and you can see my aircraft there. And the lighting's really nice, it's very subtle. You've got these huge lamps here producing the correct amount of light, and here you can see evidence of the parallaxing, or well, not so much the parallaxing, you can see inside the terminal through the misted glass, which is a really nice effect. As you can see, ramp lighting looks good. You shouldn't have much of a problem at all taxiing in or taxiing out of here. Again, the building looks really nice, the lighting is very subtle, makes it look really good. So a little close-up view there through the windows showing you the seating area and what looks like a little restaurant area. And again, parallaxing through the windows gives you an idea what's going on inside. And just a high-level shot there, looking across the landside, you can see the advertising hoardings are lit up, which looks good. The landside car park is also well lit, as is the railway here. Would have been nice to see an animated train. So a quick close-up shot on the car park, which looks good. Again, no ASOBO globes floating all over the place. You've got the adequate, correct lighting for the car park, which is good. A little look in through the terminal windows there. There's our little hanging aeroplane. And here you've got evidence of parallaxing that we discussed earlier. Now you can see it, but it doesn't look that bright. I wonder if it will improve in the darkness hours. So a quick tour north, going across the airport. Just have a look at the lighting in general. The sun's really dipped below the horizon now. But as you can see, the lighting is nice, it's subtle, just as it should be. Stands are adequately lit. I would expect the lighting to come up more during the darkness hours. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Taxiways are still available, you can still see them, certainly no problem at all there. And again, stand lighting is good. Now here's the control tower, let's see if there's parallaxing done. I mean, the building's nicely lit. So yeah, there's kind of evidence there. It looks as though they have done something that looks like that in there, but it's not as detailed as I thought it might be. And there's nothing, unfortunately, inside the main tower. So heading towards the cargo point, again, lots of subtle lighting. It's nice, it's been beautifully lit. And this airport is like many others, it comes to life a lot more at night when you turn the lighting down. And here we have a look at signage. There you can see blue airfield edge lights and centerline lights. Taxiway signage is good, it's excellent actually, no problem at all. So here's the approach to runway 34 center, run 6 center, 34 center, and as you can see you've got green centerline lights and they're the glowing type, which I really like. Little close up for you there. I like the way that's done. I like to see that in all sceneries where they've got green centerline lights. It just looks so realistic. And the blue airfield edge lights all looks really good. It's really impressive. And there's a look at the 16 center threshold. Again, runway markings are excellent. Touchdown zone markings are here as well, even though they weren't listed. But again, you can see the lighting looks good. They lead into the runway. This looks pretty good, and it's getting pretty dark now. And there's a high level shot of the airport with Mount Rainier in the background. All in all, it's a lovely view, no complaints at all. Let's drop the lighting down to night now and see how much further the light on the ground comes up. Okay, so it's 10 past midnight, and as you can see, the lighting has indeed come up a little bit. The whole scene looks pretty serene, as it were, and yeah, I think it looks great. Let's get down onto the ramp and have a look at the lighting on the stands, which is what's important to you pilots. So there we are. Once again, we're on the stand, and as you can see, the lighting has indeed come up a little bit more. And that building there looks really quite good, I have to say. And again, looking across the ramp, I mean, the lighting is wonderful. It really does look good. There's plenty of it. There are some really nice subtle touches around the scenery, like here, for example, the down lighting, the bluish colour, and again on the Delta building here. And just little subtle touches that make it look really nice. And here a little bit higher, as you can see, again the subtle touches of lighting, such as the purple here. Nice to see the trainway lit, and I mean, the whole lighting just looks great. It fits, and it's, I have to say, a big improvement on ASOBO's default upgrade. It does look really nice. And just looking at the ramp, as you can see, it's easy to see your way around. I love the green glow on the lamps, it looks great, and the blue edge lighting looks wonderful too. And just a high level shot there looking across the 3 runways. It's very nicely done, especially here. Okay, there's no obvious light source here, but the little touches like this just really make it come to life. I mean, this is total darkness now, it's midnight, and yet we can see everything in detail. So getting around the airport at night after you land or depart is not going to be a problem, and lighting wise it looks wonderful. And there we are looking in the other direction towards the south, and again here you've got the hangars with the down lighting, and just some really nice subtle touches here. So just a close look here at one of the satellite buildings there. You can see the seating area inside there. And just looking inside there, you can see a little restaurant there. And just a quick view inside. Again, some slightly different people models this time. I mean, it all looks really nice. I love the ceiling lighting. And again, since this is all done in higher resolution, it looks pretty real, even close up. Very impressed with that. Just a quick look across the bridge there. As you can see, there's internal detail in the bridge work there, which is very nice, and again, really nice lighting. And there we are looking down the length of the bridge. As you can see, really good internal lighting. There's the travelator that you would walk on, and the construction inside the bridge looks really good, and it's nicely lit. And looking in the other direction there, you can see the travelators and the escalators going up and down, and also some, you can at least see outside through the glass as well, which is really nice. And there's a view from outside showing you the lower level of the bridge. There's the internal escalators that go down. So the Alaska Airlines hangar, looking from the outside on the left, you've got 2 aircraft, one inside the hangar. And there's another shot showing you 3 of the models that are all part of the scenery here. Looks really nice. And here we are inside the hangar, a couple of Cessnas there, and a very nice detailed model of the 737-800 for Alaska Airlines. Roof lighting is excellent. Construction of the hangar is nicely modelled. And looking in the other direction, you can see various bits and pieces. So looking at the Delta Airlines hangar from the outside, there's a Delta model of the 737. Aircraft models are excellent, very nicely done. And as you can see, the Delta building is nicely modelled, and all comes up very nicely in the darkness. The lighting really makes the building. And looking back towards the airport, there's another view of the Delta 737 and the Air Alaska building behind there in the far distance. So it's a high level overview of the airport airside, looking towards the landside area with the car park. And there we're looking at the train station to the left, and the main multi-storey car park landside directly in front of us. and as you can see, at this time of the night, the way the lighting is done, it shows it off beautifully. A little close-up view of the station there. And another view there gives you a chance to look across the airport, across the car park, and of course the railway line is lit up in that nice green glow. And the two hotels, I believe there are two hotels here, landside, all nicely lit up. And just a slightly close-up view of one of the hotels there, you can see some parallaxing going on that gives you the impression that something's going on inside. And there in the distance you can see the control tower in the northern part of the airport. Seattle itself is way out here, and I believe this is Boeing Field. But yeah, a nice, really nice airport that looks wonderful in the darkness hours, of a huge improvement. So let's turn the daytime up and have a look at how the airport changes as the day comes up. Okay, just before 8 AM local time, as you can see, the sun is starting to rise and you get this lovely sunrise colouring on the buildings. So here comes the sunrise, Mount Rainier to the right there, and the airport is beginning to be bathed in the early morning sun. Okay, 10 AM local time, and time to wrap up this review, give you my thoughts. Do I like it? Yes, I do. I really do, actually. It's I mean, ASOBO did a valiant attempt to bring the default airport up to something better, and to be honest, if that's what you want, there's enough there for you as a pilot to come in and out of Seattle without having to worry too much about the bells and whistles, and I happily accept that. It'll be perfect for some people. But for those of you who want something a little bit more, this just about really does it. It adds a more ambience and atmosphere to the airport as it is really, but everything right down to the taxiway markings. I especially like things like the green centerline markers that glow in the evening sort of darkness. There's been nice work on the windows on some of the buildings here, and the night lighting on the buildings is very, very nice. There are some really good quality aircraft models scattered across the airport too. Some of the things that are missing, it would have been nice to have an animated train on that track. It's crying out for it. Lovely little station, beautifully lit track at night, and they've gone to the trouble of extending the track all the way out, quite some distance, and yet they haven't put the train on it, and that's a little bit of a letdown for me, but that's probably one of the only things. Do I think it's worth €21, $23? It's a little on the expensive side. It's probably at the top of the price. I'd like to see this around about €18, sort of like $18 rather than 23. I think it's a little bit overpriced for what it is. That said, you do get a huge improvement over the default. And the airport itself, the environment looks good, and it has ambience and atmosphere, which is what I always look at in some of the reviews I look at. I just think maybe this is a little overpriced for what it is, but for those of you who want the real deal as much as you can get, currently this I think is the best version of Seattle that's been produced so far, payware or freeware. It sits nicely in the environment and the terrain. The modifications have been good. Everything you look for as a pilot coming in and out of here is exactly as you would want to see it. It's in a nice location, Mount Rainier in the background there, and as you can see, when the sun goes up or down, it's beautiful. And it would be fun to fly in and out of here. I don't see any real frame rate issues. I've not really had any sort of show-stopping problems here as such. I just think really, I don't know, it's missing a little few people, a little bit landside I suppose, but 90% of the airport is there and it's done really, really well. If there was to be an update, I would like to see an animated lit train on that track, because that would really top this scenery off. Really, really nice. But yeah, if you want the best version of Seattle that's out there, this is it. Go out and get it. Or, I don't know, who knows, maybe you could wait a month or two, or into January, who knows, this might come up in the sales and come down a bit in price, and then of course it would be a steal, because it is a good airport. It's a nice piece of work, and first time I've seen two developers collaborating here. And Seattle has always been a tough area in Flight Simulator for people to work on. Not many people have touched it, and this is a really good piece of work. So there we go, folks. Seattle-Tacoma International Airport in the state of Washington in the United States. Kilo Sierra Echo Alpha, a Payware scenery collaboration by Beautiful Model of the World and Amsim. Currently looking at version 1.2 for the PC version of Flight Simulator 2020. Downloads at 818 meg and installs at just over 2 gigs, and currently it's only available from Orbix, priced at €21.79, which equates to roughly $23.02 or £18.77 UK. All prices are estimates, and they do not include VAT or tax, which may vary depending on the country of your purchase. Those prices are actually converted from the Australian dollar. So remember, you will need to add tax, which probably makes it just a little bit more expensive than it should be. I would like to see the price come down a little bit lower. But as I said, not taking anything away from the development of this product, is lovely. It's very nicely done. The night lighting is excellent. The only thing I would like to say is I would like to see a train added on that track, because it would make the whole thing. So thanks for joining me, folks. This is Lee, your virtual airline pilot, wrapping up the review of this Seattle-Tacoma scenery. I will fly in here, and yeah, it's great. So join me in the next review, where this week we'll also be looking at the new American scenery from Gary at UK 2000 Scenery, where he's going to be doing Telluride, which is available now. It's a small airport in the state of Colorado, and we're going to be having a look at that and reviewing that. So thanks again, guys. Merry Christmas. Have a wonderful Christmas and a holiday, and best wishes of the season to you guys. And to my American supporters, happy holidays, have a great time. My name's Lee, I'll see you soon. Take care, bye bye.